Hello, welcome to this update. So let's see some severe weather stuff for US and Canada. Uh, First we have the tropical storm warnings there, the flood watches, and some high wind warnings and advisories in New Mexico, West Texas, and Arizona. Some excessive heat warnings and watches in Arizona and California. Even some heat advisories there in Texas. Some flood advisories and flood watches too, and some heat advisories and warnings in the northeast. So let's see the severe weather. There are 4 different areas today for severe weather. Tornado, just one area there in Texas. So because the rain bands of the tropical system there, there's a slight probability of a tornado. Wind from West Texas to Kansas, New Mexico, and parts of Colorado and Oklahoma. There from Missouri to Wisconsin, and there from parts of Indiana into the northeast and parts of southern Ontario too. And hail just there in New Mexico and Texas and Oklahoma there. So let's see here. Locally strong wind gusts and hail may occur with storms over the southern high plains, with a couple of strong wind gusts also possible across parts of the Midwest. From lower Great Lakes in New England, a brief tornado or two may occur across South Texas through tonight. So be aware. And let's also show you something here. Wait. Let's see what Colorado State University has for the severe weather. So tornado chances, they actually have higher probabilities there in Texas, and even some slight ones there in Colorado, New Mexico, and in Canada too, compared to the National Weather Service here. And wind, they also have some higher there, also in Canada, and this is hail. They have some higher there for hail, and this is wind that they have some really high probabilities there in parts of Quebec. So I'll show you that in a second for Canada. So let's see day 2 here. There's a marginal there from Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, and parts of Nebraska, and a slight there from parts of Pennsylvania into New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, and parts of Massachusetts, and this marginal there from parts of Ohio and all the way into Maine. Tornado threat just 2% there in Nebraska and Wyoming. Wind 5% there, 15% there in the northeast, and 5%. Hail just 5% there, 5% there. So let's see. Storms may produce scare damaging gusts over parts of the northeast on Thursday. Isolated severe storms are also expected over parts of the central high plains. So be aware there. On Thursday, for Friday, there's this marginal from Nebraska to Wisconsin, and this marginal in Pennsylvania, New York, and Connecticut. So let's see. Scattered strong to severe storms will be possible over parts of the northern plains to upper Mississippi Valley on Friday. A few strong storms in parts of the northeast too. So that's for Friday there. Day 4 nothing, day 5 nothing, day 6 nothing, day 7 nothing. But there might be a severe weather or two in parts of the north and northeast this weekend because of that system there and everything. So for Canada, we have a bunch of heat warnings here, and let's refresh this. So wait, here they have some heat warnings there for daily highs of up to 35 Celsius and 30 Celsius, and overnight lows near 20. So stay cool and stay safe. And then there's this severe thunderstorm watch there in Quebec. So conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms capable of producing strong wind gusts, large hail, and heavy rain. Keep in mind that the severe thunderstorms can produce tornadoes. So be aware there in Canada there might be some severe storms there and strong storms. And there's this other separate severe thunderstorm watch. Conditions are far of severe thunderstorms and strong thunderstorms. Potential gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour or higher in some areas this afternoon into this evening. So stay safe there. And there's this air quality advisory still. So let's see this general model here. You can see some storms there in parts of the plains in New Mexico, some there in Nebraska, and then some there in Ohio. But what I want to mention today are the storms in Quebec there, parts of the northeast, maybe some, especially in Quebec, some strong storms there. And then Thursday here, it shows more storms there. Keep in mind that this is not a high resolution model, so it will change many times and it's not high resolution. So for tomorrow, those big storms in the northeast, because of the slight risk, even show some thunderstorms there. Maybe some in Western Canada for tomorrow, and then more stuff. So let's see here. Wait. The HER here for today. So let's see. There's all the moisture down there in the south from the tropical storm. Be aware of a water spout or tornado. And then there's some showers and storms there in Kansas and Iowa and Wisconsin. The storms in Ontario there. And then it shows maybe a storm or two in the northeast there, in Ontario too. But it doesn't show anything big for the northeast today. But there's a marginal risk there, so in this model updates all the time, so be aware. Shows maybe a stronger storm or two there in northeastern New Mexico this afternoon. Maybe there in New Mexico and those other areas. In Quebec there. And let's see here some other stuff. So excessive rainfall is a slight from parts of New Mexico into Kansas, and this marginal from New Mexico to New York, and this moderate in Texas, and this light and this marginal in Texas for flash flooding. So they choose a slight there, parts of North Dakota, Nebraska, and this marginal, this other marginal here, this light in Texas, and the other marginal, and that other marginal in the northeast. So day 3, there's a marginal in South Texas, still a marginal in the northeast, a big marginal from Montana to Michigan, this marginal from New Mexico to Utah, and this light there in Utah and Colorado, and this light there from South Dakota to parts of the UP of Michigan for day 3. So day 4 is a slight there from Wisconsin into Canada, and still a marginal in southern Texas, this marginal there from the plains into the Midwest and Canada, and this marginal in the northeast for day 4. Day 5 is Sunday. Yes, the day 5 there's a slight there in the northeast going to Canada, and this marginal from Virginia into the northeast, and still a marginal in southern Texas. So let's see. Winter weather, nothing. Precipitation, all of the rain Texas there for today, and this rain the plains and other areas there. For day 2, more in the northern plains and in the northeast, still some in Texas and some other areas. Day 3, more in those areas of the Rockies and in the desert, still some in Texas, more in the north there in Minnesota and other areas. And let's see, some in the northeast. Day 4, some in Canada there, the north, so be aware there. In southern Texas, still some scattered in some areas there. And let's see day 5, more in Canada there, in the northeast on day 5, and some in Florida too For day 6, some in Florida, the southeast, parts of the north and the northeast, and still some in southern Texas. Day 7, more in the Midwest, parts of the southeast, and in Canada too. So days 1 through 7, a lot there in the northern plains, in the north, northeast, some higher areas, and in Texas, of course, and Florida. So let's see here the overview for today, for after today, and after today. So let's see the tropical storm, and let's see if this will work here. Nope, I don't know why. So let's see here some other stuff. So let's just check the Star Prediction Center again, because they update this a lot. So now we have a slight risk here. So they updated this like 5 minutes ago. So now there's a slight risk in parts of Ohio, southeastern Michigan, and parts of Lake Erie there in southern Ontario. So, and I don't know if you have guessed, right? But there's another slight risk in southern Texas and northern Mexico. So the tornado probabilities have risen to 5%. So even higher tornado probabilities there in southern Texas. So please be careful with these rain bands bringing these water spouts and these tornadoes. So please be careful with these tornadoes there in southern Texas. And the wind threat has risen to 15% there in that other slight risk, and 5% hail. So let's see what they say again. A few tornadoes are possible across much of the southeast Texas later this afternoon to tonight. Scarce, strong to locally severe damaging winds possible over parts of southern Great Lakes this afternoon and early evening. So be careful. And let's see the fire outlook. So there's this elevated area there from Arizona, New Mexico, and also this area for isolated dry thunderstorms there. So be aware there. And let's see day 2, no areas, and day 3 through 8, nothing else for wildfires. So temperatures here into the 90s and 100s in the southwest, lots of 90s through the south, all the way to the northeast for today. For tomorrow, up to the 100s in the southwest, 90s there in the Midwest, and all the way to the south and northeast. Day 3, let's see, 100s there in the southwest, in the valleys too, very high 90s in the Midwest and in the valleys, and some A is there, and more 90s in the south. So day 4, more 90s in the central plains, in the Midwest, in the south especially, and then 100s in the valleys and the southwest. So for day 5, 112 even in the southwest, 100s in the California Valley, more 100s in the plains, 90s in the plains all the way into Montana there, some 90s, some 100s even in parts of Tennessee, 90s there, and even 100 in Virginia there by day 5. So you'll get very hot around the east coast here and southeast coast. So be aware there. In the plains too, up to 101. So be aware. So day 5 is Sunday, so day 6 is Monday here. So up to 114 in the southwest there, so please be careful. Up to 101 in the plains, 90 still in the east coast and south there. And for day 7 here, up to 115 in the southwest, so hot, so please be careful, and some 102 even in the plains, still some 90s there in other areas. So let's see some interesting things. These are some max wind gusts in the next 24 hours. Let's see. This is the 24-hour, not the 48-hour precipitation forecast, most in the north and in Texas there. And let's see here some outlooks. This is the temperature outlook, way above average in most of the US, except some below averages there. Day 6 through 10 is that, now day 10 through 14, still some below average there, and above average in the other areas. Precipitation, day 6 through 10, some below average there, and above average precipitation in those areas. Day 8 through 14, below average there, and above average in many areas. So let's see here some hazards. Day 3 through 7, so the brown is all heat, like above average temperatures, hazardous heat, some heavy rain the green, and flooding possible in the pink. And then soils here, let's see. Day 8 through 14 now, some still some above normal temperatures and hazardous heat, some high winds too from the north into the plains, and some heavy precipitation there in some areas. And this is like the drought risk for those areas of the east. Because of all the heat, there's risk of drought affecting agriculture too, so be aware. And let's see here some other things. The winds, some stronger winds in some areas there by the end of today, stronger winds in Canada there, and parts of the Rockies too. Let's see. Tomorrow, way stronger winds in Canada. It shows some stronger gusts there in Canada. And for the US, some stronger winds still in parts of the desert and the Rockies through Friday there. And let's see, yeah, and even by Sunday, some stronger winds parts of Canada and the Midwest and the North, and still some strong winds there. So let's see here. Cape, there is some instability there today too, a lot in many areas, and some waves. Let's see. Some very big waves there in the Gulf because of the tropical cyclone. Some slightly bigger waves there in the west coast. And let's see, yeah. And what else? Some scattered dust too in parts of the desert and the Rockies there. So let's see. Here we have the storm there and the heavy rain, and then it shows some systems there for the north still, and some systems for Canada there. And this is by Sunday, some more severe weather possible in Canada, with the other system, more rain there on the east coast and in Canada. It shows some other systems there in the US by Wednesday, next Wednesday, and even maybe more severe weather by June 28th, some more rain there. So the Euro here has the tropical storm there, some heavy rains there in other areas, and then it has this system forming there by Friday, maybe some severe weather, and then it goes into Canada by Saturday and Sunday, some severe weather in Canada. So let's see. I think this is mainly it. Let's just see the heat risk here, some extremes there into all the way into Saturday, and then later by Sunday and Monday, some extremes and majors in the central and south there and east. So so be aware too, and let's see. Good. So so this is it, I think, and stay safe.